Good day, everyone. Today, we will be discussing change management. Okay. One of the most critical competencies for leaders, managers, and even employees in today's dynamic environment. As organizations evolve, change is no longer optional. It is inevitable. The question is not whether change will happen, but how well we manage it. So, in this session, we will explore not just the theories, but also the practical realities of managing change, especially resistance, leadership roles, and structured models that ensure success. Now, let me walk you through our objectives for today. First, we aim to understand the key principles of leading organizational change. Leadership is central. Without strong leadership, change initiatives fail. Second, we will explore the role of creativity and innovation. Change is not just about fixing problems, it is about creating better systems. And third, we will learn practical strategies. This is important because knowing theories is not enough. We need actionable approaches. By the end of this session, you should be able to analyze, lead, and implement change effectively in your own organizations. Now, what is change management? Change management is a structured approach used by organizations to transition from a current state to a desired future state. It is not just about implementing a new system or policy. It is about managing people, processes, and culture. One important thing to remember: change fails not because of poor strategy, but because of poor execution and resistance from people. So the goal of change management is to first, reduce resistance. Second, ensure smooth transition. And third, increase acceptance and sustainability. For example, if a university shifts to a compressed work week, the challenge is not the policy itself, but how employees adjust to it. Okay, so this is a change management diagram. So first, we have here the individual change journey. So the ADKAR, awareness, the desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. And then the general or the project life cycle. So you start with a plan, and then you design, develop, and you deploy. And the third one is the organizational change management. There's the strategy, so you prepare for change. Second, plans, so you manage change. And third, measures, you sustain the change. So here are the reasons that force change. Organizations do not change randomly. There are strong driving forces behind change. These include, first here, technological advancements, like the digital transformation, AI, automation, and another thing, market competition. Okay? Because organizations need to stay competitive in the market. So how could they stay competitive? It could be change towards privatization or other things. We have regulatory requirements, okay? The legal reasons, political reasons, like the government policies and compliance. Another, organizational growth or restructuring, like the merger of organization, acquisition of organization, and customer demands and expectations. Okay. Social cultural reason, economic reason, issues within the organization. So for example, in the Philippine setting, compliance with the CSC for the governments, agencies, the DBM, or CHED policies often forces institutional changes. So as leaders, we must identify whether change is reactive, meaning responding to pressure, or proactive, anticipating the future. So the most effective organizations are proactive. So, key stakeholders in change management. Because change does not happen in isolation. It involves stakeholders. So we have here the employees, the manager, the owner, the customers, suppliers, society, government, creditors. So there's the top management, because the top management provides direction and authority. So like here, the owner. Then the middle managers. Okay. Why? Because they translate strategy into action. And then the employees. They are the ones who actually implement change. And the HR, or the change agents, they facilitate and guide the process. So change fails when stakeholders are not aligned. For example, if leadership supports change, but employees are not informed, resistance increases. Therefore, communication and engagement are essential. Now, here is the ADKAR model. Okay. So it stands for A, for awareness. It's understanding why change is needed. D is for the desire, the willingness to support the change. K is for knowledge. That's knowing how to change. A is for ability, implementing new skills. And R is for reinforcement, sustaining the change. So organizational change starts with individual change. If employees do not understand or accept the change, the entire initiative fails. Example, if a new payroll system is introduced, A, for awareness. Why change? For the desire. What's in it for me? For knowledge. How to use it? For ability. Can I actually do it? For reinforcement. Will this continue? So that is the ADKAR model. Then this is the Kotter's 8-step process. It is more organization-wide. So the steps include, so there are 3 categories here. First is creating a climate for change, and then engaging and enabling the whole organization, then implementing and sustaining change. So the first 3 steps, first is create urgency, and then build a coalition, a guiding coalition. And then third, you should form a strategic vision. Okay. Fourth step, communicate the vision. And then you remove the obstacles. So empower action. And then get quick wins or generate short-term wins. And the last two steps, sustain acceleration or leverage wins to drive change. And embed in culture or anchor change in culture. So change must be driven from the top but embedded in culture. Without culture integration, change becomes temporary. For example, if employees revert to old habits, it means the change was not institutionalized. Okay. Now let's move on to Lewin's change model. This is simple but very powerful model. First is unfreeze. That means prepare the organization and then change. So implement the transformation and refreeze. So stabilize the new system. Unfreezing actually here is often the hardest part because it involves breaking old habits. Refreezing ensures sustainability. Otherwise, people go back to old ways. So think of it like this: melting the ice, reshaping, freezing again. So this model is useful for understanding the psychological aspect of change. Now, resistance to change. Resistance is natural. It is not the enemy. People resist change because of fear of the unknown. Fear. Loss of control. Lack of trust. Okay. Comfort with the current systems. So here in the management side, the fear of not achieving the expected results. So that's actually fear of the unknown. Lack of visibility into the post-transformation workflow. Then, lack of expertise to drive the transformation initiatives. So for the employees that push back due to fear of losing job security, still fear of the unknown. Fear of complexities in digital logistic processes, and the lack of visibility into the benefits for employees. So resistance is feedback. It is not opposition. So instead of forcing change, leaders must communicate clearly. Okay. Involve the employees and provide support and training. Ignoring resistance will only make it stronger. Okay. So these are the strategies for managing change. First, assessing change. Then, defining a strategy. Effective communication. Then, staff involvement. Training and development. Support and leadership. And results monitoring. To conclude, change management is not just a process. It is a leadership skill. So organizations that succeed in change communicate effectively, engage stakeholders, use structured models, and address resistance. In today's environment, adaptability is a competitive advantage. So those who manage change effectively will not just survive, they will thrive. So according to Abraham Maslow, in any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety. Okay, so I have an activity for you to make this more practical. Okay, we will have an activity. You will draw how you feel about change. This may seem simple, but it reveals emotions, perceptions, and personal attitudes toward change. Okay, some may draw storms, meaning fear or uncertainty. Others may draw bridges, meaning a transition. Or you may draw growth, meaning opportunity. After this, you'll present your drawing. Okay? And remember, change is not just organizational. It is deeply personal. Okay? So remember, change is not something to fear. It is something to manage, lead, and master. Thank you very much for watching this one and for listening.